Hi there, Chris, chap in the cap, Motolegends. Bit of a change of format this morning. Thought I'd like to take the opportunity to show you around the business a little bit. Now, we're recording this in the middle of May, we're right in the middle of lockdown, but although the shop is closed, as indeed it has to be, in some ways it's business as usual. Well, obviously it's not business as usual, but parts of the operation are carrying on uninterrupted. We're still busy taking orders over the phone, internet orders are coming in, we're dealing with our suppliers on a daily basis, booking goods in, packing parcels, sending parcels out. So, in fact, in that part of the business, we are busier than we are normally because I think a lot of our shop customers are buying by mail order instead of being able to come and see us. But anyway, now's not a bad time to come and have a look around because there's not many people in the building. Let's go have a look. Now, as some of you may know, we are based in Guildford in Surrey, so we're about 25 miles from the very centre of London. The business is on an industrial estate called Quadram Park. We're about a mile from the centre of Guildford, a mile from the railway station, and it all happens in this building behind me. We hold all of our own stock here, and I think that's quite important as a customer because there are lots of businesses, lots of mail order and internet businesses who take your order, then they contact their supplier, they order that one item, and then when it arrives, they send it out. We have a huge amount of stock here in this building. We also have in this building, we have our customer service team, our call center, our buying department, our warranty people, our marketing and our internet functions. They all are under one roof, and it just makes it much easier for us to respond quite quickly to anything that goes on. Everyone is in this same building. Now, normally, when we're not in lockdown, we're about 25 people in total, varies depending on the time of year. During lockdown, there are about 10 of us coming in every day. Half of the rest are working from home because they have functions like working on updating the website or doing our buying. They can easily work from home. The other 50% of that 15 tend to be based around the shop, so obviously they cannot work. They are on furlough. Anyway, let's go in, let's have a look. So where I'm stood here in the warehouse, this is the goods in area and the goods out area. It's always a busy part of the warehouse. For example, yesterday we had 8 pallets, about 30 boxes of Bell staff arrive. We've got to open all those boxes, count the stock, put it all on the shelf, then print out orders for customers who are waiting for it. And the idea is that by the end of the day, by this evening, we'll have sent all of those jackets out to people who have ordered a Bell staff jacket, might have been waiting weeks and weeks for this new supply. They're all going to go out this evening. So in today, we've got Arta and Mark. They're packing. I've mentioned, obviously the shop is busy, we're in lockdown, so there's no business through the shop, but the internet is busier than ever. We have hundreds of parcels going out every day, just as we normally would, in fact, more so. On the rails and bins in the warehouse, we have more than £2 million worth of stock. That's how we can make the claim that we are the second largest motorcycle apparel shop in the UK. Now, the shop footprint, many of you will know it. I'm sure some of you will have seen it in our videos. We're going to go and have a look at the shop in a minute. But even though the shop footprint is small, what we can do is run out of the shop and all of the merchandise in here is accessible to us within, say, a minute. So this is actually, whilst it's a small looking shop, it's a huge shop. We have lots of brands here. We are certainly the largest stockist of brands like Halvarsons, like Helston's, the French leather brand, Belstaff, Roker, and the American brand Klim. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take a quick walk around the warehouse. I'm going to show you the amount of stock that we've got here because when we do that with customers, a lot of them end up being quite surprised. So let's go walkabout. This is that order that I was telling you about. Came in last night, 8 pallets of Bell staff. Guys are desperate for me to finish this video so that they can unpack it, count it in, get it off with the couriers this evening. If we look up high here, this is what we call our bulk area. That's where if we are importing a brand and we need to buy enough to last us for 3 or 6 months, we buy it, it's too much to go in the bins, we put it up there and then we decant it as we need it. So we have lots of aisles like this, aisles with these bins in. These kind of bins are where we put the softer stuff, so trousers, jeans, base layers, gloves, socks, that kind of stuff. This is the obvious area to put those in. This is the area behind the shop. A lot of you will have visited us in the shop, but a lot of people will have ordered stuff to be put by for them so that it speeds the process up. So we'll have 2 or 3 jackets here for somebody in a size. You come in, give us your name, we come out and fetch it. So this area is normally incredibly busy. Anyway, let's go upstairs because we've got more of the same upstairs. Graham, after you. So up here, we tend to have less bins, more shelves, and on these shelves we have more helmets and more boots. But we've also got hanging rails so that we can get more jackets in. So this is the counting in area within the warehouse, an important part of the operation. What tends to happen is, as goods are booked in, they're put on the forklift, they're brought up from the ground floor to the first floor. We've got a large counting out table here. We open everything up, we count it really accurately, because obviously if you're going to order on the web, you need to have confidence of knowing that when you order something, we really do have it in stock. So we take a lot of care doing that here. Over there, just in front of me there, that's Carol. Carol has assumed some responsibilities for returns during the lockdown, because we are getting more returns than we would do normally. And that's because often, obviously people are coming to the shop, they can try things on, we can make sure the fitting is absolutely perfect, but we cannot do that during lockdown because obviously you can't try things on. So she's a little bit busier than we would be normally. If we look up here, we're not going to go up there because it's a bit boring, more of the same really, but we keep a lot of our Belstaff jackets and a lot of our Roker gear up there on the top floor. But anyway, let's go through now, let's look at the offices. So here we are upstairs in the offices. On our left here, this is our call centre, which I'm just going to go into. And in today, we've got Bill, we've got Karen, we've got Carol. Give us a wave. So that was the phone room, but let's have a look at the other offices here. Now, during lockdown, we don't have that many people in for obvious reasons. But what we quite like about our offices here, we have some natural cubicles. So actually when people are in, it works very well in terms of social distancing. In this first office here, we would normally have Kelly, our buyer, but she's doing all of that buying from home. In the second cubicle here, we would have Graham. Sometimes he has an assistant in here. Graham is the man behind the camera, so you can't see him. He does all of our video work. He does all of our catalogues as well. In this next office, internet team, they are working from home. Obviously, that's the kind of work that you don't need to be in the building for. And in our final office here, we have Lee. Lee's actually nothing to do with the motorcycle business. He runs our die-cast business because we're also a seller of die-cast models. Finally, at the end of the aisle here, we have Sarah, our managing director. And when she's not busy in the shop, she's running around keeping us all on our toes. Here we are in the shop. To a lot of our customers, this is going to be very familiar territory, and I know a lot of them feel that they've spent far too much money in here. But personally, I'm a bit sad to see it like this, to see it empty, because normally the place is buzzing. The jukebox is on, blaring music, there's customers coming in and out, there's lots of laughing, lots of joshing, lots of joking, lots of people talking complete nonsense about motorcycles. Although in truth, I've got to say, most of those people tend to be our staff. But there'll be tea and coffee coming to and fro. At a weekend, this place is like a party. There's standing room only. There'll be kids messing about here on the Sega game. We'll be teaching them how to play pinball. It is a lot of fun in here. Obviously, we're looking forward to seeing it like that again, but I don't think that's going to happen for a while, because even when lockdown is over, I suspect, and obviously we've not seen the regulations yet, but I suspect we'll only be allowed 2, 3, maximum of 4 people in here at a time. You won't be able to use the changing room, so you won't actually be able to try gear on, and things like helmet fitting that we are so famous for, there'll be none of that, because when we fit a helmet, we are changing the cheek pads, we're running our fingers up here on the brow to check how much space there is between the edge of the helmet and the forehead. There'll be none of that. One of my favourite tricks when someone is trying a pair of trousers on, they're sat on the bike here, they've got their feet on the pegs, I will put my hands all the way up their trousers and adjust the armour to get it in absolutely the perfect place. Under no social distancing rules do I think that's ever going to be allowed again. So the future is going to be very different, and we're looking forward to getting back to the way it was, but I've got to say right now, it still feels as though that's a long way off. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed our little look at Motolegends during lockdown. I have to say that the world feels a wee bit strange right now, but it's good starting to see a few more bikes on the road. But I think in the future, shopping for bike gear is not going to be like it was, and I don't think it's going to be like it was for quite some time. Are we going to see, when we are allowed to open, queues here on the pavement with bits of tape every 2 meters, keeping everyone socially distanced? I'm not sure. What we may do, if that ends up being the scenario, we'll put up a marquee. We will keep everyone socially distanced, but we'll have tables and chairs in there just to make the process a little bit more comfortable. But even when we are open, even when you can come in the shop, I suspect that shopping is going to be more about collecting than shopping per se. And that's because, as we've discussed inside, there's going to be no personal fitting, no trying on, no changing rooms. And in some ways I feel that mail order and the internet are still the solution. Now, sizing's the problem with the internet. You can never know when you're going to get it right. But at least with us, you get free P&P, you get free returns. And right now, we've got a scheme whereby you only pay for one, we send you two, and then you send one back again at our cost. All I can say is we are excited at the prospect of opening our doors again, meeting all of our friends, our regulars and our customers. It's going to be fantastic and we just cannot wait. But we are clearly not out of the woods yet, and it could be a long time before we are. All I can say is if you are riding, be careful out there, because if we behave badly, I think that's going to get us as bikers a bad name. So be safe, and as Boris says, be alert.